Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, we talk about health tips and the word of the Lord. Alright you guys, this video, I'm actually just going to explain the last video that I posted. So if you didn't watch it, it's testimonial. It was for a birthday party, but I want to tell you guys a little bit about the backstory of it. And maybe help you understand where I was coming from, why I filmed that film. So I filmed it because, first of all, when I first moved to where I'm moving, there was a lot of traumatic, terrible things going on in my life, a lot. I had just a brain injury, then I got a broken neck, and so if you've been following me a while, you know all that. But it was pretty crazy. It was a pretty crazy time in my life, and I was trying to hope against hope, to do the right things. I was trying, I was leaving a relationship. I had been, I had just had my heart being kind of torn out of my chest again, and I was just going through it. I was going through, I think a lot of what a lot of believers go through, especially when you've made mistakes, and life is just like that. We make mistakes, and I was I was utterly alone. I was spending a lot of time alone. I was far away from my family. I had come into, like I said, a pretty tricky time in my life, and I had a lot of questions, and I was praying a lot. I was on here with you guys actually when this all kind of went down, when these things were kind of going down. You guys went through, like I said, you've gone through a lot of stuff with me. You didn't necessarily know the total backstory, because I don't share everything, just for this respect for people that have played a role in my life, whether it was good or bad. Everybody plays a role, and even the bad parts, God's using it for our good. He's teaching us stuff. He's teaching us forgiveness sometimes. He's teaching us, what other people go through, so that you can be a tender love and care for people when they are in need. He was teaching me a lot of stuff, and there's nothing to say bad about any of it. It's just, it was one of the times in life that it was a real test of faith, and I wanted to do what God wanted me to do, right? I wanted to do the right thing. I wanted to live biblical principles. And I'm telling you, living biblical principles, it will come with opposition. People are not joining you. You're going to be going alone at some point. At some point, God will put you alone with Him and you only. It's hard. It's hard times sometimes. So He was taking me through that valley, and I was praying. I was needing help with my brain for sure, because I knew, He was telling me what I needed, but I was asking Him to provide. I knew that I needed to get music back in my life. I knew that I needed, healthy food and healthy environments. I knew I needed peace. There's just a bunch of stuff that I needed to do. And my stuff had been in storage for 3 years, waiting for God to come through on some of these things that I knew I needed. And one day I had met this lady at the gas station, and she invited me to some music night and I got to know a little bit about the community that I had been planted in. That was odd. I hadn't chose where I was living. It was just totally God putting me in these places, and it was not what I expected at all. And so I ended up going through this whole thing, and this lady, Audrey, she was just literally sent by God, and she had a testimony. She had a very similar testimony to what I had kind of been through. Not necessarily, I haven't been married and I don't have kids and that stuff, but just some of the stuff that she went through and how God had pressed it on her heart. And so if you watch the video, you'll hear the testimony. But I also got to get to know her grandson and her husband and a whole community of people that have been life-saving to me in a lot of ways, and faith-building, because it was I just wanted to see a good story. I was like, God, give me a happy ending. Give me a happy ending to all these trials and tribulations. I need to see that following you, and I already know following God is not easy, but you want to hear the happy endings, right? Because the world is kind of giving you this other side that you should just, move in with people, you should just do all these things and it'll all work out. But I wasn't seeing that. I was seeing that most people that move in together eventually get divorced, and eventually they end up having all these problems, and I just was like, there's got to be a better way. I just believe that God has a better way, and we're constantly falling for counterfeit situations where God is trying to tell us the truth, but we won't listen. And so I was really, like I said, I was really looking for a happy ending. So she ended up telling me the story, and I didn't ask her to tell me it because she's just a lovely lady that has lots of stories, and that was one of many stories that she told. So over a year, I started filming her and just watching her lifestyle, and I just noticed that her and her husband had a very wonderful relationship, and they're just great people. Like, I just love being around them, and I just love them, and so there were so many people attached to her that could see, what I could see. And I just was like, man, I just want to tell this story because, I want to give other people hope too that are going through those treacherous seasons, that the treacherous seasons where, you're hoping against hope, you're hoping that you're doing the right thing and God will lead you. And it's hard, it's so hard. And so, anyways, her story is just to bring inspiration. It was also her birthday. It was her 80th birthday, which, she is a perfect representation of the blessing of the Lord has been on her life, redemptive story. So, she did the drugs. She was a drinker. She was doing all the things. She was married twice before. She had all these situations and God totally turned it around. She became a missionary, and she's been upholding a community for the last 40 years, encouraging people and finding strays like me. I was just a stray, She just took me in, and she just always checking in on me, always taking care of me, loving me. And I was like, God, thank you for this amazing woman. How can I honor her? How can I honor her? Because I wanted to honor her the best that I could. And like I said, she has so many stories. She's so awesome, and it's God, and she gives God all the glory for all of it, And that's the best part, is just, her humility. And that birthday party that we had for her was just, it was so good, and I just feel like it'd be nice if people would celebrate people like her more often. Sometimes you see unsung heroes, these unsung heroes getting forgotten in things, and I was just like, God, can we just celebrate the good people? Like the people that go out of their way to be awesome, let's celebrate them. So that's what I wanted to do. And I don't know if I'm supposed to do more films like that or anything like that, but if you liked it, let me know. Give it a like, give it a comment, watch it. Let me know what you think, because like I said, I feel God led me to do that. He gave me the ability to do it, and they agreed to it, which I thought was crazy too. Like, people be so vulnerable like that. It's awesome. And we did the production of it. We had a big party, and we did a premiere. So we had people come in like a movie, and we watched it, which was also awesome. And I'm a total amateur, you guys. Like, I'm not, as you will be able to tell when you watch it, but I was just like, God, this is such a neat time. What a neat story. What a neat community to be involved in. And thank you so much. Like, I'm just blessed. I know that you can't conjure up this stuff. You can't make it happen. Like, God has to put you in the right place. He has to be the one to do it. So I prayed for having to have a community of loving, godly people for a long, long time before I found people like this. And it doesn't mean I'm going to stay here forever. I don't know. God only knows. But it was the most blessed time. It was a very healing time for me during a lot of the heartache things that I was going through, and God just blessed me abundantly for my prayers and for my, for the fact that I just kept on believing Him, and like I said, like, I don't have a happy ending yet either. Well, I do in a sense, because my life is very wonderful right now, and I can only say that He finally healed me, like physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I feel healed, and I know that I'm just passing on these things to you guys in case you've gone through things like I've gone through, and following God has been hard, because it is sometimes so hard. Sometimes you just don't know if He's going to do what He put on your heart, but He will, and He did it for her. And like I said, they're not just blessed because they have a happily ever after. They went off and blessed many people. They're headed out on a missions trip right away, which is another reason why we had the event, because we wanted to raise some money for them to go on their missions trip. They're teaching other people to go on missions trips. Some other local people in the community are going with them, and it's just, they're blessed to be a blessing, and it's amazing. And so so as for lifestyle, I've also looked at that. They we have lots of meals together, and they eat like I do, like pretty basic stuff. Lots of tea. We like to have lots of tea, and their desserts are usually this coconut. I should get Dawn to give you guys the recipe for the coconut ice cream that he makes. It's just fruit and coconut milk. It's pretty great. So they do the lifestyle stuff too, and they are always out being active all the time. And that's what gets you to your 80s. Eat God-made food, get active, be part of your community, have lots of little missions every day. and it gives you purpose, and it gives you joy in your heart. And spend time with the Lord, you know, read your Bible, be part of your local community church, you know, do those things, because it all plays in. It all plays a part to the life that you get, longevity, right? And of course, they don't drink, and they don't smoke, and they don't do any of those other stupid things that kill people, and that it shows, right? So that's a lot of the reasons why I wanted to have that. I believe in elevating people that are doing the good fight of faith, you know. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, comment if you can. Let me know what you actually think. If you didn't like it at all and you thought it was pointless, let me know, you know. I'm okay. I can handle it. I can handle the backlash if there is any. But like I said, God's blessed me with some amazing people, and I wanted to share some of that with you, and just encourage you that we got to look at the long game. Sometimes when you're in the short game, you know, everything's painful because you're doing the right thing and people don't accept you, or they shun you because you're not doing what everybody else is doing. But we got to look at people like Don and Audrey, who, you know, they're at the end, right? They're at the end of their life. You know, it's not the end yet, but hopefully another 20 years for them for sure. That's what I'm praying for. But either way, you know, we've had 40 years from, you know, my age to them. A lot can happen in that time. And if you do you follow the Lord, He will bless you. And they are blessed. They are blessed. So that's my roundup. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of that. And I'm praying for you guys. And yeah, I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.